What is up, guys? Jeremy here, and welcome back to another video. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to basically unjailbreak your device so that maybe you're having problems with tweaks or something, your springboard keeps crashing, whatever issues you guys might be having. Maybe you crack your screen and you need to take it to Apple to get it replaced with Apple Care, and you need to unjailbreak your device. This is how you're going to do it. This can fix a lot of issues caused by certain tweaks and stuff like that. Like if you have too many tweaks at this point, and like I said, if your springboard just keeps crashing over and over again, you can't figure it out why, I would recommend to just unjailbreak your device and then re-jailbreak it and start it from scratch. So before we get into this, one thing I do want to mention is that I do not know of any method that you can re-jailbreak and reinstall all the tweaks you had previously without doing it all individually. So I would recommend going into Cydia, and if you guys have a bunch of sources that you have added and you want to get tweaks from those sources again, go ahead and write down all the sources you've added. I would write them down in the notes application. That way when you re-jailbreak, you can actually copy and paste all of the sources at once in a batch mode with a Cydia tweak, and you can literally reinstall all the sources, like I said, with one go. Super easy. The only thing that sucks, like I said, is I don't know any way of re-downloading all the tweaks at once. You have to go through and individually download those again. But if you're having issues because you have too many tweaks, I would avoid, installing all the same tweaks you had, because you might get into the same problem you had beforehand. So just be cautious on what tweaks you use, how many tweaks you have. Don't just go and download stuff just to have it. I would get functional tweaks or tweaks that make your device look really cool and just stick with that. I always recommend to download one tweak at a time. That way you can see if there's any conflicts or any issues with that one tweak, like if it crashes your springboard. That way you can go back into Cydia and remove that tweak, and then you won't have to worry. So just be cautious when you're doing all of this. Keep that in mind. We are in survival mode, so if you happen to get stuck in a boot loop or something like that where you absolutely have to restore your device, you can no longer get to a jailbreakable firmware. So keep that in mind. Take caution when doing this, guys. But to unjailbreak, it's really quite simple. We just go into the unc0ver JAILBREAK application here. And what you want to do is go into the settings portion of unc0ver, and then you go to the restore root FS, which is going to restore the root file system, also called recover right there, as you guys can see. So all we got to do is toggle that on, and basically, like I said, it's going to remove everything associated with the jailbreak out of your file system and convert it back to stock. And when you go to re-jailbreak again, basically it's like starting with a brand new jailbreak with no tweaks or anything installed in Cydia. So go ahead and toggle on the restore root file system recover and go back into the jailbreak section, and then click on re-jailbreak. Now this process will take a minute here. We should get a prompt or a pop-up here letting us know that it is going to do some stuff, so I'll just give it a second. Also keep in mind you can do this in the jailbroken state or even from the non-jailbroken state, so it doesn't have to be with your tweaks enabled. You can do it without, or you can do it with. So here's your prompt. Notice, will restore root file system. This may take a while. Don't exit the app and don't let the device lock. Another notice here, root file system has been successfully restored. The device will now be restarted. So is it simple as that? We'll let it go ahead and restart now, and I'll be back once it's done. Alrighty, my device is done restarting. We can go ahead and hop into it. And as you guys can see, all of the jailbreak applications are kind of blank looking now. You cannot launch them. So if you wanted to just restore the jailbreak because of tweaks or something like that, you can go back in now and you can re-jailbreak your device. Of course, make sure that that restore root file system is toggled back off, and then you can go ahead and jailbreak. But for those of you that want to remove all of the crap that is left over, like the Cydia blank icon, I had files, there's a blank icon, and a bunch of other ones. From this point, what you can do is you can actually go into settings and you can erase basically everything on your device and stay on the same firmware. Let's say you want to, like I said, take your device to Apple to get your screen replaced, and you don't want them to see that you have a jailbreak. So what you can do is go into settings, general, and go into reset here, and make sure you make a backup of your device. All your contacts and messages and photos will all be in that backup, because if you do this, it's basically going to be like getting a brand new iPhone out of the box. So from this point, you can do erase all content and settings. Like I said, make sure you have a backup or you're going to lose everything, and your device will erase everything. It will remove all of those applications that were associated with Cydia, and then it'll basically be like you have a brand new iPhone, and it will still be on whatever current version of iOS that you're on. So for me, I'm on 12.1.1 beta 3. It will erase all content and settings, and it will remain on that same version. And then from there, I can go re-download unc0ver and re-jailbreak again. That's basically how that's going to work, guys. Really quite simple, straightforward. So really nice that unc0ver has that tool built in with it, allowing you to unjailbreak your device and then re-jailbreak it. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure my reload system daemons are off here, and I'm just going to go ahead and jailbreak it again. So hopefully it works first try here. Pwn2own has made the unc0ver jailbreak so stable. It's really quite impressive, honestly, compared to older jailbreaks that were like on iOS 11, like the Electra jailbreak, and even unc0ver when it first came out for iOS 11 seemed to be very, very unstable, and it took a lot of tries to get the jailbreak to work. But here on iOS 12, it just seems to work really, really good. So we're going to go through the same process that we did when we first jailbroke, where it's going to go ahead and do the system snapshot, and it's going to set up and install Cydia. We'll just go ahead and let it do its thing. I'll be back once it restarts. All right, we're restarted. Let's go ahead and unlock our device. Let's go back into unc0ver. Let's go ahead and click on jailbreak once again. Now this should be like stage 2 of the jailbreak, basically. Okay, it might have crashed that time. I caught a crash on video finally. I've demonstrated this jailbreak a couple of times, and it's actually never crashed on video for me. So, like I said, it's been very impressive, but there we go. We got a crash finally, so I'm going to wait for it to restart again, and we'll make another attempt. All right, restarted. Let's go ahead and jump back into our device. Let's go back into unc0ver, and let's try it again. Fingers crossed, let's hope it works. Failed attempt number 2. I think I jinxed myself on this one, guys. Let's hope that we can get it to work the third time. Third time's the charm, you know? Alright, let's go back into unc0ver. Let's try this again. So it has crashed a couple of times. Alright, it's doing stuff and things now. We're getting somewhere. Seems to be working. I really like that Pwn2own added this little kind of window in the jailbreak where you can actually see that it's doing things. I really like that. It was weird when it's just the button and there's just white background there, and it just shows the stages like 27 out of 38. Like I said, I think it's a nice touch to have that window. And here we go. So this was the next stage of the jailbreak. So the bootstrap has been successfully extracted. Device will now be restarted. So this was the third stage, I believe it is, of the jailbreak. you do have to go through each one of these stages in order for the jailbreak to be enabled. So we'll have to wait for it to restart again. And now when we jailbreak for the third time, it should go into the jailbroken state, and we should have Cydia back on our device. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and jailbreak again. All right, seems to be working. Looks like we're going to be back jailbroken with Cydia, ready to go in no time. Hopefully. And there we go. And we're getting a respring now. That's a very promising sign. And we did a respring. Let's go ahead and unlock our device. And there is Cydia. And actually, as you can see, it removed all of those applications. So that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and launch Cydia and let's take a look. It should be back to how it was when you jailbroke for the very first time. Let's go into sources. It seems to have retained the sources. So that is pretty awesome. What kind of changes do we have? So for file, link identifier, something or another. So that is actually cool to know. So discard the beginning of this tutorial where I told you to write down all your sources. I mean, you can do that for future reference, just so you always have them in case you need them. But that's pretty cool that it actually retained all of these sources. Let's see if it actually does show all of the packages. Let's see here, tweaks on the PackX. Yeah, it seems to have saved the sources. They're all there still. That's really cool to know. I did not know it would do that. I figured it would just be from scratch. Let's go into installed here and make sure we don't have any of our old tweaks. And doesn't. I do have no beta alert as well. So this is normally something that you have to install separate from the jailbreak. So it looks like one of the tweaks I had installed previously is still there. And that's it. Otherwise, everything else has been removed. So that's cool. All your sources should stay there. At least mine did, so that's cool to know. But anyways, guys, that's how you're going to re-jailbreak or remove the jailbreak on your device. How to get rid of all of evidence of being jailbroken in case you need to take your device to AppleCare or something like that. That's basically how you're going to do it with unc0ver. I hope you guys found this tutorial useful. If you did, definitely throw me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot here at the channel. And if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This has been Jeremy, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.